Hello, hello, we're live. Okay, let me let me share everything with everyone in our social media pages. Yeah, we're live. Hi, how are you,
Hello, I'm
Mr.
doing
Tal
well.
Minks?
How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Really excited to be here
Yeah,
today.
me as well. Thank you so much for having
Thank
me
you.
on.
Thank you for coming and sharing your expertise with us and your amazing tool. It's really surprising what you've created, and when I've tested it, it's just shocking, and I really want all animators to know about this because it's such an amazing tool.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it and
Mm,
share with everyone.
thank you for that, and everyone, just feel free to send your questions in the live chat. I will be reading it, and I am here to answer whatever questions you have, and also address some other questions that we have. So just so you know, Tal is going to be providing a 20% off discount on the tool to all of my Patreon tier paid members. So that's
Mhm.
really exciting. And if you are one of those, just send me a message through Patreon and I will just share with you the coupon. Well, if I may ask, how can animators use your tool? So please tell me, how do you use the tool inside of Maya? And why is it good for animators to use this?
Yeah, that's a great start off question. So the tool it comes in with a simple UI and it has two modes. So you can actually, one of the modes basically just bakes down whatever your hands are doing real time in Maya. And the other mode will allow you to capture poses. So these two modes are great if you want to just straight go through and keyframe a shot. Like if you already have the body and the head and everything in spline, and you just haven't done the hands yet, you can go ahead and actually just capture it real time, and it will bake down all of that animation real time for you on the hands. That's one use case. It can also be used for if you have mocap that comes in and the hands are all messed up, or the hands, often in mocap, the hands are not done at all. You just have the Lego hands. You can do the same use case where you can actually just bake down the animation straight. And in one of my demo videos, I kind of show how it's super simple to just add in those poses real time. And it kind of feels like I still really enjoy using it. It feels like magic when I'm doing it. Um, just because it gives you that realistic hand motion right off the bat. And the other use case, well, the last use case is twofold because it's capturing the poses. So you can just go to a keyframe. This is the other mode where you're capturing poses. You go to a keyframe that you want to build a pose off of. So if you're blocking in your hand poses, you'd go to that keyframe, set like a pose that you want, and then you would just click off of that keyframe, and that pose is stored there. So that's a great way to block in your shots. And another way that you can use this is actually in building out whole hand pose libraries. So I think this is great for studios that want to build out pose libraries on the fly, because you can just build out those poses that you want and then save them in Studio Library or whatever you use in order to just create a whole pose library that you can use in there. So those are all the use cases. I think there are more, and maybe we'll kind of get into these later. But yeah, those are the basic use cases for the tool.
Sweet. I love that. We have Debabrata. So he or she says, "Hey guys, love from India. I wanted to ask, how do you use AI development in the animation industry, and
Oh,
what is your
I'm sorry. I
opinion?"
think I've lost your audio.
Oh,
I can.
I'm here. Is that better?
Yeah, could you repeat just the question
Yes,
from
yes, for
Fisa?
sure. Okay, so we have the Babrata. I hope I'm not butchering
Oh,
your name. He says, "Hey guys, love from India. I wanted to ask, how do you use AI developments in the animation industry? And what is your opinion on its effects on jobs?" And that kind of links to a question that I wanted to ask, which was, because I know your tool uses AI, but you have a very peculiar way of thinking about AI and the technology in your tool and how it can empower animators and work with them and hopefully help fight this like AI thing. So please tell me a little bit about more a little bit about that and your thoughts on why you created this as an artist yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Um, so yeah, we've all seen it as creators that, AI, what it does very often is it just trains on just a lot of artist work. We've seen it with Studio Ghibli and other things like that, and it just takes all of that work, copies it, and then spits it back out. And we call that AI slop very often. And so my tool is different. It uses machine learning processes, but it's trained just on pictures of hands, so thousands of pictures of hands, in order to learn how to track the hands. And it's not stealing any work. And so one of the reasons I created the tool was so that artists could kind of take back some ground that maybe AI has taken from us. And as they become better, they've taken over some of the work. But this tool is supposed to really speed up our processes. And I mean, in hand animation, it can become pretty cumbersome because you have like 30 different controls if you're just talking about the last digits on the hand. And with this tool, it gives you a great foundation to start off from, by just capturing those um, through the tool, and then you can build up off on that. And so it's a great way to sort of fight against AI, if you want to use that language, and to really to keep up with just the speed at which things are progressing. It's just another way to speed up your pipeline and your process.
Yeah, I think that's great. I love that answer because I have used it myself, and when I am trying to use it, I really realize that I could animate much faster, either by creating
Mhm.
poses in like a pose library system or or just live moving my fingers. And one thing that shocked me was I've used mocap for many, many years. I'm a lead animator, as you guys, some of you know, and I've worked with video games and TV shows and series. And very often we have mocap data. And even like very high end studios, amazing like mocap data studios, that when you see all that information as an animator, it's very dirty. Like it's keys all over the place in every frame, and sometimes with a lot of just like weird Euler weirdness. So yeah, it's hard to really work with those curves and bring them to a place where you can understand them as an animator and then polish them. But what shocked me about your tool is that when I used it, as I was moving my hands, it was baking, but it was not, it was baking in a smart way. It was not baking on every frame and just like creating weird rotations, but it was pretty much almost perfectly just grabbing the poses that I was animating, but in like live in Maya, which is something I had never seen before. So can you talk a little bit about that and why you implemented this and how that can help animators basically?
Yeah, it's something that I was really excited about when I was actually developing the tool.
Hmm.
Um, Earlier on in the process, when I started to capture it and it started to happen real time in Maya, I was also fascinated with just how clean the curves are, because my background is as a lead animator as well, and just having dealt with so many different mocap solutions in the past. I just know that sometimes you have to completely just delete everything that you've been given in mocap, especially in the hands. There are very rarely do you get any nice motion in the hands from a mocap solution. And this comes right out of the box with pretty clean curves. You need to polish it, but it comes out like you see the ease ins and ease outs even. And that was shocking to me while I was developing it. I'm like, wow, this is really like I'm onto something here with these ease ins and ease outs already being in place. So it was very fulfilling as an animator, and knowing that I could put that out to other animators and give them that solution that isn't present anywhere that I've seen.
Yeah, no wonder. It's absolutely remarkable, and it makes it very easy as an animator to later go in and have control over my curves, because I think that's not something they give you whenever you have mocap. So it's like a different level of mocap, but it's also mocap for animators, which is
Mhm.
really beautiful. And yeah, I just wanted to ask, so I think you've been marketing your tool for individuals and for studios, and how that's how has that process been for you?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So, it's as people have seen that, um, more and more people have been using it over time, and it's been gaining traction. And I think people are, understanding as they buy it, like, oh, this is a really good solution. It takes a while for every product to kind of take off, but I think people are really starting to notice that, oh, this can actually really speed up my process. And I've actually had multiple studios now, some pretty large ones. I think I've signed an NDA or more, so I can't really say who I've been selling it to, but some pretty big studios have reached out to me and have wanted the tool, wanted to add it to their pipeline because they've seen the value in it, and a bunch of individuals have been reaching out. So thankfully, it's been helping a lot of people, and some people have been really loving it. I know Truong, he's a I used a bunch of his rigs in one of my latest marketing videos, and he makes a ton of really cool creature rigs. And he really saw the potential in the tool. And he's like, "Oh, I want to use this for my rigs in the future." So um, it's really fulfilling knowing that I'm adding value to these studios and these people, and I'm not just like, throwing another mocap solution out there. It's actually something that is progressing the industry. So it's really enjoyable.
Right, it's fantastic, and you can see it in the chat. Fake voice, hi fake voice, thank you for joining. He says, "I love this. Can you imagine 5 years ago you had to either buy an expensive, maybe 200 glove product with a license or DIY your own hand sensor? Now it's just lights, camera, action." I love that. It's so true. It's exactly what it feels like, and a lot of people have tested the tool, and their feedback has been very good. So that's cool. And that ties into kind of another question that I know a lot of people ask. I already know the answer because I've tried it, but I would love for you to kind of give a little more of an explanation of, does it work with only a certain kind of rigs, or is it kind of universal for any given rig?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something I should probably put out there more, because I think a lot of people assume that it's just another one of the solutions that they've seen before. Um, Not to name any of them, but usually when you have these types of mocap solutions that people have integrated in Maya, you have to use their specific rigs in order for it to work. And maybe it's because they want to sell those rigs or for different cases, but they haven't universalized it to other rigs. And with Handcraft Pro, you can use it with any rig, and you can actually use it on any control. What's really cool about Handcraft Pro is it's actually not just for hands. Something I realized later on is that you can control anything that you map with your hand. And so it'll take in those positions and the rotations of your fingers, and it'll put them onto, if you have like tentacles on a rig, or if you have fins or anything that you need overlap in, as long as the rotational values of the curves are in the same direction, so that they're all rotation Z, then you can control them like this, and you can have some really nice overlap. And one of the videos I recently put out there on LinkedIn was actually with you when you were testing it, and you can control wings. Can't remember all the different use cases, but basically anything that
Anything,
you can think of,
fins,
claws.
yeah,
Uh,
tentacles.
yeah, so it was really fun realizing, oh, this is not just for hands. It's for a lot of different things. It's for any rig that you want to bring in, because uh, in the tool, you just select the rotation value, and then it's set for the rig that you want. So it's any rig. Thank you for that question. It's a great one.
Yeah, it's amazing because we can like control the torso, control limbs, control anything. Someone in the comments, AJ, is saying dragon wings because yeah, you can control dragon wings and it becomes really fun to use it. And yeah, it was kind of like I don't know if you watched that video. If you haven't, it's also on my YouTube channel. But I was kind of doing this, and it was a bird. I was like, wow, that's so cool. Because then it just takes
Yeah.
polish later, and you can even give a little bit of a shake and have wings really reacting with air really quickly. Like that would have taken me much longer. So thank you for the tool. It's really awesome. AJ asks, is there any benefit of having a higher quality camera to capture?
Yes, I can see a benefit. I don't think it's like you can have a pretty low quality camera and it should capture all of the points on your hand. So what it's doing is taking in the 30 points on your hand of the fingers. So 15 here on this hand and 15 on this one. And I think the only thing is if you have like a very high end camera that can capture at very high end frame rates, you'll have less blur. So if I'm not really sure. I don't think you need a high end camera, so I'm not going to like say that you do. Um, but it might be marginally better.
Yeah,
Does that
slightly,
make
but
sense? I feel like I was
I think it
okay.
makes sense,
I
but
really think you
yeah,
can use any camera.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've tried it with different cameras so
Mhm.
far, and the clients that you've had have all like said it's working. So
Mhm.
that's great. Yeah, I can say that I have used it, and I just have a normal webcam, and it's
Mhm.
working. So that's good. Um, this is like a question about social media and how your tool just exploded, and everyone was super interested in it. Were you expecting the amount of traction you had?
Oh no, definitely not. Um, just because it's a new product, and you never know what's going to happen with new products. I knew that it was offering value, but it was hard to tell if other people were going to notice that right off the bat. And yeah, people really did. It really blew up. And it blew me away how much it blew up, and I wasn't really able to keep up with it with all of the comments, and I was just like trying to keep up with everybody and comment, and it was really cool though seeing just how much traction it got immediately. Um, and really cool just seeing such a positive reaction from the animation community because I wanted this to be a positive thing for the industry and to really help artists and taking back some time against AI. So it was really cool seeing that reaction.
That's awesome. And there's another question in the chat. It's from Fake Voice again, and he's saying he's asking if you have any plan for a pipeline SDK for Blender users. They are saying they are partnering with Godot, and a tool like Handcraft Pro could get freelance indie devs excited. So, yeah, I know you've answered that question before, saying that maybe in the future, but maybe there's no like clear answer yet. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Right, for Blender integration, it would have to be since my expertise is in Autodesk Maya and really all my expertise has been in there. I've worked with Blender before, but it would be a big learning curve, and I would have to work with other people to figure that out. So I don't foresee that in the future, unfortunately, unless I team up with somebody. I think it would be awesome though. So I don't know, but it's unlikely to be honest.
Thanks for answering that. And yeah, I guess you can be in the talks with Mr. Tal Minks on LinkedIn
Right.
and see if you're interested in helping with that. Well, I think those are all my questions. Do you guys have any more questions in the chat? I will give it a few minutes, but uh, you have lots of little hearts. But
No,
thank you so much for all the information. And I think that's amazing. I really love the tool. I've tried it myself, and it's just so shocking that you can do all the things that you are able to do thanks to it. So thank you for the tool. Thank you for developing it. And yeah, we'll stay in touch. And thank you for the 20% discount to all my patrons. I really appreciate that. And if
definitely.
anyone wants to get that discount, you can just join my Patreon anytime and ask for the discount. So we'll see you there. Thank you. I
Definitely.
hope you have a
Yeah.
great day. Thank you for being in the channel.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's been a real pleasure. And it was great to hear the everyone's questions. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming and listening.
Ah, there's one more question.
Oh, cool.
Samantha, you made it right on time. She says, I've seen some animators use blend shapes or similar techniques to push beyond a rig's limitations and achieve the desired poses. Still, I'm not familiar with the proper workflow for doing this in Maya. Is this approach generally recommended in production, or is it better to simply request the required controls from the rigger? I can kind of respond to that if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, please. I
I
also maybe have something, but I think please take it away.
Yeah, I guess we both like by working as animators know this a little bit. So Samantha, there are some studios that would allow you in their pipeline, mostly with when they're working with particular like they are creating their whole IP, like their personal project in the studio, and they're creating like the entire pipeline inside the studio. That's when I find that it's easier for animators to mess with the rigs and get away with it in a positive way. I know, for example, for Hotel Transylvania, when they were animating for Sony, animators were able to just use blend shapes and go crazy with pulling like vertex off the rigs, and that would actually in their pipeline kind of go all through like lighting and rendering and compositing, and so animators were able to pass those curves along, and yeah, they would make it to the big screen. However, in most studios, we are working with a pipeline that's a little more complex and requires more kind of like input from different sources. So we may be working with people in Bangalore and with people in, I don't know, whatever country in Europe. And so it becomes more complicated when you have all these different stages. And so it's always easier and better for studios to keep things cleaner. That means like not going crazy with vertex, not just deforming characters that way. So for personal projects, I use blend shapes a ton. I have created my own blend shapes, and I think I have maybe tutorials on how to do that on my channel. But yeah, I would not recommend it necessarily on a pipeline level. Mostly, I've done it, but just when I'm gonna like show something that's really cool to the client, but not something that I know will make it to the final product. So yeah, I don't think that kind of solution would work for this situation. What do you think, Tal?
Yeah, no, I actually think you covered it perfectly. So I'm not going to add anything else to that. But you actually the question did make me think about in Handcraft Pro, since you were talking about like kind of fine tuning and editing. There's one thing I didn't mention that I wanted to. That's it's I think it really highlights the tool's capabilities, and that is when you are actually capturing either real time or just the poses. Uh, Maya remains live the whole time. So you can stop, you can edit the pose that you were just working on, and then you can continue capturing. And so I think that it kind of applies to the question because you can actually go in there and with a lot of mocap solutions, it'll stop. Like it'll stop Maya completely when you're capturing, and then you have to go back out and come back in and see what the data is. But you can actually edit the data as you're working on it. So I just wanted to throw that in there because it's something I don't think is evident to everyone right off the bat.
Right.
So
Super cool.
thank you.
Super cool detail. Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Samantha, for that question. That was really good. A great way to end the discussion. She says lots of love to both of you. Thanks a lot for the answer. Thank you. And yeah, whatever questions you have, you can still put them in the comments later or just let me know through LinkedIn. I know Tal's also available through LinkedIn, so you can reach out to us with about anything really. And I hope you guys get to enjoy the tool. It's really amazing. It's been a lot of fun to use it. And yeah, AJ says thank you, Tal, and he'll say cheers. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you so much, Tal, for all your answers. That was lovely.
It's been my pleasure, and thank you to your Patreons. They really seem very kind and very interested. So
Thank
that's
you, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your Saturday. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Tal.